into the game here, Saigon Fantastic 5 gonna start things off with that tingling over there. So Saigon Fantastic 5 will be starting things off in the blue side. Taipei Assassins on the purple team for the last game in the last game for tonight in the Garena Pro. Definitely not the last game.
Hopefully we see the Fan of Wall again, the Great Wall of China. We're gonna see it?
I don't know. Look
Actually, AZB TPA are grouping up, so
yeah,
maybe not.
Might not see that happening.
On the side of SF5 though, they are standing out for the Great Wall of China, but AZB TPA, they're going to this brush. Now they're actually going to go for the invade. Thresh is here late. Spots them out though.
So will we see some counter movements from Saigon Fantastic?
Here comes the ward though from Leona. Jay does have that early ward and did place it down in the previous match that they played today. So we'll probably see that put down when they leave the jungle here, which they do end up doing. So that's going to give them 3 minutes of visibility around that Wraith camp and brush. So at least we'll know that it has been placed there thanks to Vigas scouting that out. So maybe able to take an alternative jungle path to stop that. Stop the vision from
it almost feels like Taipei Assassins just pulling off a strategy from the past.
Uh-oh, Vayne might be in trouble here if they do get a glitter lance off. Vayne's actually going back to base.
Look out.
Morning jumps into the brush.
Doesn't get a glitter
and
lance.
Just looks at Vayne in the eye, like stares deeply into the eyes of Vayne and does nothing.
He's just saying good morning.
Strange. I mean, Vayne was going back to base. Minus wasn't looking at his screen at all. Strange. Interesting.
So Taipei Assassins, they will go for the counter jungle, and looks like Archie will be able to spot out the winning movements. And interestingly enough,
trinket.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, we actually see Jungleology starting things off with that sweeping lance.
Archie's in a lot of trouble. He's going to run into 3 people here. They decide not to. They want to get this red buff instead. So Jungleology will be able to pick this one up with the smite. Dinter does the same to the opposition's red buff there. Surprised that Vigas didn't try to stick around to do more damage. But here we go. A nice swap into the mid lane here. I believe so we've seen this before, but
this was actually, so this is actually an old strategy from their sister team, Taipei Snipers. They were known just a couple of months ago when they first broke onto the scene for this 2v1 in the mid lanes, which they excel in for the longest time. So when you have this 2v1 matchup, what you technically want to do is to really get your support to roam as well, because if you get your ADC in a very comfortable position, you will be able to leave him alone against the mid laner, and in that sense you will be able to roam. So back then, the most popular support champion of choice when they want to pull off this strategy was Blitzcrank, but this time around they are going to go for that Thresh instead. You have that similar effect because you have that death sentence to lock someone down when you go into one of the side lanes, and you have the likes of the Dark Passage to pull your jungler in as well. So I guess you have that little bit of synergy there, but let's see what's going to happen from here.
They're just going to try and go in for a dive onto Yasuo here. He might have his wind wall. We'll pop that wind wall. He's getting taken out solo. Ignite is popped onto him. There goes the whirlwind to take him down. Jay's actually getting taken down by the tower. He will get first blood before he gets taken out. However, it is a good trade for the Saigon Fantastic 5 just because that kill did go to Yasuo. And Jungleology is here to soak up that entire minion wave.
And not only that, it was a 3-man attempt down at the bottom lane.
He got sent home as well. Archie was able to shove Goni out of the lane, so he's lost a lot of experience for that.
So the problem for Taipei Assassins now that they're going for this 2-man in the mid lane, the strategy over here is that we are at a point of time where the mid lane turret is not going to take so much damage in the first 8 minutes just because of that reduced damage, and because of the fact that look out,
hook coming in from Vigas there. He might not be able to get too much damage down. We'll actually take that Morning to a fairly significantly low amount of health. Mine is actually not trying to zone Morning away from the tower, forcing him to head back to base. So they're going to get some good damage down onto this mid tower. Din's just going to run around here, try and defend as much as he can. Up in the top lane, Goni is still once again taking a beating from Archie. Every time he tries to go in for harass, Archie's going to jump in on here. Has another slice. Will he take him down? One more attack will be enough. Flashes for it, but he will get taken down from the ignite and tower shot for flashing in there. I feel like Archie should have burned his flash much faster there to get the last auto attack off instead of holding it and then jumping in under tower range for that. But was able to pick up the kill. Wasn't able to deny any minions though. Wasn't able to capitalize on his advantage there, but has sent Goni back to base and additional attack. Gets the stun down onto Jay. Jay takes a lot of damage there, but Supports are really tanky.
Yeah, at this point of time.
What do you do?
So, at least for Saigon Fantastic 5, I feel like they're playing this well, this strategy well, because the idea is pretty clear. But hold on.
Water gets jumped on. Boomerang Bag is going to do a lot of damage. That sunlight is going to hurt a ton as well. Water, he's been using the wind wall very well to block a lot of damage, and Engage is coming out from AZB Taipei Assassins down in this bottom lane, but not be able to do too much. Dinter's got it around Vegas here. I mean, Minus here. Morning's going to pop the shield onto it. Glitterlance will slow him down. Gets a lot of auto attacks out. There's the Ignite. Not going to be able to take down the face though.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I thought this was a pretty good strategy.
Hi, Dinter, you got hooked.
Yeah, so pretty good strategy on Saigon Fantastic's 5 end. So the game plan for them is rather clear. They want to send Jungleology to support in the bottom lane. And I guess because of that, Goldie has to play very, very safely up in the top lane.
Incredibly safe. Dinter's actually putting a ward around this area. He's waiting around the bottom lane, see if Jungleology or Water make a move here. But Jungleology is so far ahead in terms of levels. Level 5 right now.
Yeah, that's because he has been sticking around in the lane to soak up some lane experience.
They're actually going to jump in onto the Spider. Pops the repel really early to try and get back into the tower range. Decide not to go in for the re-engage after that. Good move by Jungleology, knowing the in and outs of his champions and knowing how he can escape from the situation safely.
And looking at Water here, I think this is some brilliant play on his end as well. And I think this is something that we have to think of because he has been using that wind wall to block out the auto attacks from BB from putting hurt onto the turret as well. So I guess that's the rationale behind this Yasuo pick on Saigon Fantastic 5's end. So despite all this, mind games and strategies for them, they are still behind in gold count. So
they actually might get dived up in the top lane here. Nice spell shield coming up from BB there. Clutch spell shield. Goni's getting bullied by Renekton. I'm not surprised either. Lee Sin doesn't do too well against Renekton early on in the game. So it doesn't fare too well later on either. He needs to get a lot of lifesteal to start battling Renekton up in the top lane. He literally just went back to base to pick up a health potion. That's all Lee Sin could afford to buy there, and that's not worth it at all, especially when you're level 5. Archie is going to hit level 7 incredibly soon, and that just means he's going to continue to bully you. If Archie had vision of the opposition's jungler, I mean, he would have actually been able to stand in between the two waves and not even allow Goni to get in experience range of his minions.
Yeah, but at least so far I realize what's the reason why that we start to see such gold discrepancy, despite the fact that TPA at the start they didn't have that turret in the advantage. It's mainly because of the fact that Jade went for that relic shield start. That sharing of gold between him and BB is gonna result. Whoa, Tigers.
What did you have to drink before this game? When you throw your hook, you're meant to aim it at enemy champions. Now you're going to die. Zenith Blade, Jay, what have you been drinking before this game? Because now Vegas is going to get taken out really low. He's going to get bursted down. One more hate spike will be enough from Dinter. The supports have been having a little too many beers.
We don't know what they're drinking.
The hook went the wrong way, and the Zenith Blade did not.
I think they're just pretty tense up because of the game.
Still able to pick out the kill onto Vegas there. So, good play there coming in with Taipei Assassins, rotating around from the bottom lane. Now that there have been changes to the Summoner's Rift, whereby the middle outer turrets are much tankier than the bottom outer turrets, AZB TPA were able to pick up that bot lane tower earlier than the Vayne and Thresh mid lane could to the mid lane tower. That allowed the rotation coming in from Leona to help pick up that kill.
It's almost like the changes because of Summoner's Rift. It's like a protective shield in the top lane and the mid lane for the first 8 minutes. But now we are 9 minutes in, so that shield will be unlocked for Saigon Fantastic 5. So you just need to really play it smart over here and actually not going in range against Goni here. So
Goni cannot fight the Renekton. That was a mistake actually jumping back in onto him, because you just take more damage than you can dish out or shield right now. Goni's in a really tough spot because he's playing Lee Sin. He needs to get ahead early or he's not going to scale. He needs to get his Bilgewater Cutlass so that he can sustain really well in lane. Until he picks that up, he's not going to sustain at all. He has to be very careful of Renekton and save his Dragon's Rage to kick away Renekton when he goes in for the tower dive. AZB Taipei Assassins have gone for this really sneaky he
watch out,
drag it here. Jungleology's gonna flash in. Will he pick it up? He gets it! The Lantern is there! Will not be able to take it back to safety, but great flash from Jungleology to pick that one up.
That's definitely going to be worth it on his end now.
It's his name.
Yeah, so Jungleology.
There is a reason why he has that name. Now Archie's getting jumped on in the top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane's being 4-man pushed by AZB Taipei Assassins. Even though Jungleology was able to flash in and get the smite off onto Dragon, that leaves a member behind in this mid lane to stop the push coming in from AZB Taipei Assassins.
So Taipei Assassins playing smart because they know for a fact that they have the numbers advantage, so they are going to bulldoze down into the mid lane. So it does look like Nixwater will be joining them into the mid lane now. So
Ditch actually spots Nixwater here. They actually stand still for a little bit and dance with each other. Ditch is going to try and get as many hate spikes down as he can as Nixwater takes the Dark Passage Express to safety. There goes the hook onto Morning. He gets thrown back, knocks himself up, throws the enemies into the air. Jungleology is taken out really low. There's not much damage being put down onto the AZB Taipei Assassins though. So AZB TPA, only Morning took a lot of damage as the Wild Grove saved his life quite a bit. I'm pretty sure he popped health picks onto himself at the same time. And we're going to see Renekton rotate down to this mid lane. Not much Goni can do to help out his team, but AZB TPA will be able to pick up a tower for that trade. But a good hook coming out from Thresh there, almost able to single out Morning. If the Flay was able to throw Morning into tower range, that might have been a pickup coming in from Saigon Fantastic 5. AZB TPA are now rotating into the jungle of SF5, but will not be able to spot anyone out, or will they? Jungleology in a really poor position here. Pops down the ward. Zenith Blade, no! Solar Flare will hit, but what's going on? Top lane's gone for the fight. Then turn Jay say, we're not gonna fight.
Yep, so that Solar Flare just for intimidation factor. And I like how the way Taipei Assassins is adapting to this strategy that SF5 has installed for them, because for the most part, and especially in the last season as well, Taipei Assassins have been known to be the team to somewhat sit back for a little bit and make sure that they have control and itemization before they start to force any aggressive movements. But this time around, they recognize the threat that SF5 could potentially grow into. That's why they are going aggressive right from the start.
Goni, don't tell anyone Archie's there. Now he's going to jump out onto Goni, gets the stun down. Realizes he doesn't have that much damage to take him down in a couple of hits, so decides just to come back out of from the wave a little bit as BB picks off a pink ward in the River Brush.
Yeah, so
they're actually going to jump in onto Nixwater here, blocks out that Glitter Lance, going to flash away, he's not slow, Dennis is going to jump in, gets the Wild Growth, knocks up Nixwater, uses his ultimate to jump in onto Morning, ashes away to minions twice, but help Nixwater get taken down.
That's exactly that. So the help picks will secure the kill for Nixwater for Morning there.
Morning.
Yeah, so that's exactly the kind of synergy and Ability's embrace.
There's a scrying orb in this game, guys. The blue trinket has been picked up by Venus.
I think it's the nature of the strategy that they wanted to pull out, and I guess we didn't really talk about it. It's because it's very similar to Clairvoyance for the most part. So what you want to do is use that scrying orb, try to spot out where the enemy jungler is, and or even any potential rotations that could be coming down, or even the position and the timers for the buffs, so that you could go around to decide what kind of roams you want to be going on for Vigors. But unfortunately for Saigon Fantastic 5, this strategy kind of just collapsed on itself for the time being, because they are unable to secure the early game dominance. So they're trying very hard to take out this mid laner, but with the amount of speed and mobility that Taipei Assassins have on their own end, they're able to respond to every challenge that Saigon Fantastic 5 has.
What is Jungleology doing here though? It's waiting in an aggressive rush here. AZB Taipei Assassins have grouped up fairly well. Archie's still bullying Goni in the top lane. 4 members of AZB TPA are pushing it onto this mid lane. It's going to be very hard for SF5 to leave this very small location. This tower actually may go down here.
Yeah, so with 4 men down as well, and now Minas putting on some fur onto this, getting that silver bolt in the way, and it looks like Taipei Assassins really want to push on with the advantages that they have so far.
Tiamat has been picked up by Lisa in the top lane. Gonna give him a little bit more wave clear, more damage as well. But Renekton is 20 minions ahead. and his team has picked up multiple global objectives. Goni is also behind in terms of experience, so Lee Sin's not going to be able to ramp up in the game very easily at all. I feel like what Goni really needs to do is to make a play to kick somebody back into the team of the Saigon Fantastic 5,
Yes.
take them out fast, and then that can be his job done. Slowly, if he continues making those plays, he can crawl back into this game after being set back pretty far behind.
Yeah, and I also feel like Saigon Fantastic 5 needs to somewhat establish a limit on how much they want to let Taipei Assassins take, because I think they know for a fact that they will be on the back end for the early game stages just because of that nature of the Bane pick.
Hello, Archie. Bye-bye, Archie.
Goni will not fight with the angry Renekton at this point in time. Dinter will now take out the pink ward that is going to spot him out. He's going to move up to actually try to kill off Goni. Looks like that's not going to be the case just of yet. So, just like I was saying, they really need to establish the limit and see where they need to start defending the bases, because they cannot bleed out too much objectives.
Morning's actually going to jump in onto Jungle Algae, who's going to repel into the air, jumps back down to the same location. Knockout from Morning. Actually doesn't knock out Jungle Algae, but still Morning with enough burst to take him down with the help of the support Jane. That's one of the reasons why support Leona is picked a lot. He provides so much crowd control and so much damage from your sunlight as well. Now, AZB TPA, who had the Time Warp Dragon, will be able to pick it up for free once again. They're slowly but surely... Okay, no, that's game over. Vagra stole they stole the Wraith. That's it. The game is done, Chris. I'm leaving now. Bye-bye.
So... yeah, Fish is not actually leaving this one. He's just standing up for the stretch here. So, I like the item choice for Morning at this point of time. He has that blue elixir on his end, and I think Taipei Assassins really recognize the need that SF5, if left alone for too much, they will be the ones to be the growing threat.
And now Nixwater caught off guard. He gets bursted down almost instantly, taken down by AZB Taipei Assassins. Dinter and Morning decimated him. He was obliterated from the map. Now they've got a lot of pressure throughout the map. Goni's pressured up in the top lane. Archie has a lot of damage and can potentially pressure him under his own tower. Bot lane has 2 members pushing, and the rest of AZB Taipei Assassins are in the mid lane.
I love this 2-man rolling squad for Dinter and Morning, and just like you mentioned in the earlier game, just these 2 champions has amazing synergy, and they are putting that to full effect. And BB and J as well, this bottom lane duo, they will be able to take out the mid lane turret at the same time. So Taipei Assassins sitting at a 7,500 goal advantage, 72 in terms of kill count and 4-0 in terms of turrets. So they are in the driver's seat pretty much, and they have all the resources that they need to transit into the mid game. And it does look like Saigon Fantastic 5 this time around, you know, they had pretty dominating performances for the first week, but going up against the defending champions of the Garena Premier League, they are finding their weak spot now.
Saigon Fantastic 5 are actually just not able to make the plays that they normally make against other teams. AZB Taipei Assassins are playing the same way they do in almost every single game. The slow, methodical play style of taking out objectives one by one and not trying to make as little mistakes as possible, which they have been so far.
Dinter has a Sunfire Cape.
Dinter has a Sunfire Cape. So last game we saw him, he did end up going for that Blade of the Ruined King. This time he decides they need to synergize with Leona a little bit more.
You know, it's interesting for him to pick up the Sunfire Cape as well. I think back in the past, I think a couple of seasons ago, he could go for that invisible champion and then just run
around the enemy champion, damage them, slowly take them down. It was even better when Sunfire Capes could stack. So you could have a 5 Sunfire Cape Evelyn with Boots of Mobility just running around the one champion, dealing 50 damage per Sunfire Cape to him per second. So that's 250 magic damage a second. So if you ran around a support, they would eventually just die for no reason.
Or how about like the double Shackle days as well, when you could stack the Sunfire Cape?
Garen, when you could stack Sunfire Capes on Garen, that was atrocious. You couldn't kill him with any sort of physical damage. And every second you spent next to him, you're taking 250 magic damage from his cape, and he's spinning around in a circle as well.
Those were the days indeed, and looks like we don't get the stacking Sunfire capes, but we do have
set up for a flanking maneuver. He's gonna move in here. Actually, we do see SF5 go for the engage. Archie has a flash away. Good solo flare to stop Vayne from advancing, but she's gonna continue. Now we may see a re-engage. Xenoblade will miss though. Dinter does get spot out. Nice wind wall coming in from next quarter to block any sort of damage coming out from the Lulu Eve combo coming in from the flanks. I felt like if Eve and Lulu were able to move a little bit faster, or if Leona re-engaged a bit quicker, they may have actually been able to pick a fight there. But now, AZB TPA might be going for Baron, are they? No, they're waiting.
No, they're going for the Baron bit instead.
Uh-oh.
Oh, look out here. And there go on the hunt.
Here comes Dinter. No, there's a Zenith play. Great ultimate from Dinter as well. Good knockup coming in from Morning onto Jay. Now Vias and Jugology in a lot of trouble. BB's kiting as hard as he can. The jump up from Jugology will not be enough. They're going to continue chasing. Goni's actually going to get taken out really low. One more hate spike won't be enough. You're stuck, Mr. Eve. I mean, Mr. Evelyn. I just called Mr. Eve Mr. Evelyn. I was meant to say Mr. Spider. Mr. Elise, Miss Elise gets taken down for the ace. A really early ace coming in from the AZB Assassins, only 20 minutes into the game. This will be a free Baron for them and a great Baron bait coming out from the Taipei Assassins, allowing Dinter to stay not in the Baron pit, but off to a side so he can get his Agony's Embrace off. Yeah. And also, great use of the locket there to speed up everybody.
That play over there kind of reminded me of KT Roster Bullets as we take a replay of what exactly
happened. I'm sorry, there was no locket used here. It was a whimsy. We have actually a replay of the earlier fight. So we will see them run over to Baron Pit after a failed re-engage. And it wasn't a locket because, remember, Targon's race was picked up by Leona here. So it was the whimsy that gave the speed, and also on the hunt coming from Sivir that led to this. Take us through this.
So this, whoa, everything just sped up over here, and
everyone just dies over here. Vigas is taken down solo. Then we can see Minus gets taken out. Nixwater just couldn't do anything. Goni, Nixwater, and Vayne just all got dueled out way too fast, just by two people.
That's a good point.
Really fast replay there just to recap what happened in that fight there, but you can see just the use of On the Hunt, the whimsy, was enough to speed everyone up. The knock-up coming in from Wild Growth onto Jay, followed up with the combined CC of Glitter Lance, also Zenith Blade, and the stuns coming in from Leona, followed up with the damage and Agony's Embrace, and just Renekton being a crocodile in everyone's face. More than enough to take down SF5. They are really far behind the AZB Taipei Assassins now.
And the thing I really like about that play as well is that it kind of reminded me of KT Roster B in the OGN champion scene, because they are the team well known to use Baron as a mechanism to make stuff happen. And the only reason why Taipei Assassins was able to make that play work is because they recognized that Baron was going to be a threat for SF5, and now Nixwater
almost getting soloed here. Nixwater almost getting soloed here by Morning. Chase him down with Glitter Lance, really close. Use the whimsy to speed up, grab the extra ability power as well. If I'm not mistaken, you don't get extra ability power from anywhere, but still.
Yeah, so
speeding himself up, getting so close to getting that last tick of damage that he needed to pick up Nixwater. But wow, a Lulu almost taking down Yasuo by herself. This mid lane inhibitor tower is under a lot of pressure. Renekton's in the top lane, getting damage down onto that top lane inhibitor tower as well. Goni has done nothing this entire game for his team. That Lee Sin pick has really costed Saigon Fantastic 5 because they have no dominance in the top lane. That's allowed the AZB Taipei Assassins to focus on the bottom half of the map, and that's where they've created 90% of their picks and plays so far.
And not only that, they don't have any frontliners to try to soak up some damage. As now Goni is only starting to build tanky with that Giant's Bell, but at this point of time, it's going to be a little late for them. Taipei Assassins, they are going to take down this tower inhibitor turret.
It's definitely going down. There goes the solo flare. Minus actually going to get taken down. Solo barriers pop. Not going to be a knockup from Wild Growth. Goni's going to get taken down here. There's no way he is getting out of this fight. Nixwater's the next target. He's going to get taken down. Jugology may pick up a kill in the fountain. Jumps back in. Zenith Blade almost takes it down. A triple kill to Sivir. That is an ace coming out from AZB Taipei Assassins. They should be able to finish this game right here and here. That will be the 4th game of the night. AZB TPA finishing in style with the team comp that they used earlier today in their previous victory. What a game for AZB Taipei Assassins.
I think the rest of the GPL teams will be watching this, and look over here, Michaels.
My goodness, he still gets the hook off as in cupcake form. The knockback coming in from Minus. Scumbag Minus uses the condemn to knock Jay away from Fountain Rage, denying Vigus this kill.
Right, so a dominating performance for Taipei Assassins to